Hello, welcome back to Sure is Good. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a chunky lentil soup. I love lentils and I don't cook often, but lentils is definitely one of my go-tos when I finally do want to cook. So these are the ingredients we're going to need. Olives, it doesn't matter if they're green olives or the black olives, whatever you want. So olives, I love the flavor it gives. Any type of salt, pink Himalayan salt or sea salt. This is oregano. Cilantro. So we're using cilantro and dillweed. So this is optional, you don't have to use this, but I love my food a little bit spicy, not much, so I'm gonna be using a little bit of cayenne pepper. But like I said, that's optional, you don't have to. And I'm also going to be adding an avocado to mine at the end when everything's all done. So I'm gonna move these out the way. This is the bag of lentils I'm gonna use. I'm going to make the whole entire bag because I am trying to meal prep. I'm gonna put probably the majority of it in the freezer, and then every time that I want it, I'll just take it out the freezer and have some lentil soup. I'm gonna open this pack up and rinse these off first before I put them in the pot. This pot has water boiling, so before you put the lentils in, you wanna have your water already boiling. This water is boiled, so we're gonna clean these off and put them in there. We're gonna have carrots chopped up in chunks. These have already been rinsed off in the sink. So we'll put these right here. So the way I rinse these off, I just put them in a strainer like this. You can use one this size or a little bit bigger. I do have bigger ones, but I'm just gonna use this one today. And I just pour it in, run it under water, throw it in the pot. So I'm gonna do that right now. Alright, so I put that whole bag of lentils in the water. So now I'm going to season it up with some salt. The amount of salt that I'm putting in here is going to be no more than a tablespoonful. So you can actually measure out, because this is the ratio of water in this pot. There's 4 bottles of water in here, 16 fluid ounces. So I put 4 bottles in there, and that's why I'm putting a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of salt in the water. If I want any more salt in there, I'll taste it when it's done to see how much more salt I want to put in there before I take it out of the pot. But don't forget, we're using olives, and olives are really salty, and we're putting a good amount of olives in there because this is a large soup that I'm making. The salt and all the flavor of the olives will also just blend with the whole meal. Put the amount of salt that I said I was going to put. Okay. That's good enough for now. We'll taste it in the end to see if we need some more salt. Right now we're going to get started on chopping up these carrots. After a good stir, stir this up a bit. So we're gonna let that cook while we chop up our carrots. Let's chop off the top of the carrot and the very, very bottom. Put that in the garbage. Have a little garbage bag right here. And what I do is just So what I like to do is just chop it up chunky. Goodness gracious. Be careful of your fingers. I'm just trying to hold it in place so it doesn't fly again. So these are like the sizes that I'm cutting them up into, like these, hopefully you can see it, these chunks. You want to try to keep them all kind of the same size, around the same size, because with carrots because if they're not around the same size, then some pieces might cook a little bit faster than other pieces, and we want them to cook evenly. Some of these pieces may seem a little bit bigger, but because I cut them in half, they're not as dense, so they'll cook through faster than some of these pieces that are completely rounded. So I left them with a little bit more body to them. If you feel like some of the pieces you're cutting, because the carrot obviously gets larger as you go up the carrot, just those pieces, just cut it in half, like these. So we have like these big half pieces. Lentils take a long time to cook. They take like 30 minutes. So it's good to prepare your other like vegetables while it's on, because even though carrots also take a long time to cook, the lentils still takes a little bit longer. I love a really good chunky lentil soup. I like a smooth lentil soup as well, but it depends on how hungry I am. Okay. This was 4 carrots in total. 2 of them were like wider, fatter, and chunkier like this one. And then 2 of them were skinnier. But you can really put in as many carrots as you want to. I really love carrots in my lentil soup, but all I had was 4 left. Or else I probably would have put about 6 to 8 carrots in this big pot, but 4 is all I had, so this is all we're working with. Sometimes if the carrot looks a little weird on the outside, like I'll peel those weird parts off. Yeah. Okay. That piece is a little bit too small, but it's okay. Ooh. I feel like because I'm a petite lady, I gotta put my back into chopping up these carrots. Just a little bit. You want to look at your carrots and see which ones might be a little bit too thick, and just cut it in half. So now that we chopped them all up, because that's 4 carrots, we're just going to put them right on in there with the lentils. These will still take a little while to cook because we're trying to get these soft. If you don't want your carrots too soft in your soup and you want them to have firmness to them, still a little bit of crunch, or still a little bit of a slight crunch, then wait about 15 minutes for the lentils to cook, and then put your carrots in. And then you're just gonna let everything cook for another 15 to 20 minutes after that. I want these carrots to be soft. So now I'm gonna just scrape these right into the pot with the lentils. All right, so now we just want to stir everything up. So I just turned the stove down to medium low. Put the lid on, and I'm just gonna let it cook. This takes about 25 to 30 minutes to finish. I also forgot to mention, because this is a chunky lentil soup, I also like to add string beans and shiitake mushrooms. These will go in the lentil soup closer to when the lentil soup is done. These string beans are only going to go on for about 5 minutes before the lentil soup is done. And I might even leave them on for less time than that, like maybe 3 to 5 minutes. The mushrooms are going to go in around the same time, 3 to 5 minutes, because they really don't need a lot of time to cook. Everything in life should be an experience, and let's make these experiences really fun. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and we are meant to share these joyous moments with each other. So this is my happy dance while I wait for my food to get ready. Make sure, whatever you do in your day, no matter how it's going for you, you do things that you enjoy. Get some healthy movement in to lift your spirits and shake away the stress. All right, time to get back to the food. That was fun. Now it's time to get back to this lentil soup. Let's see how it's doing. All right. I'm gonna add the olives now. It's really hot, so I turned off the heat. The lentils holds heat so well that anything at this point we put in there will be able to cook without overcooking. So I'm going to use a fork to get out these, I'm gonna use a fork to take out my olives. By the way, look at these wooden utensils I have. Let me show you guys ones. I have a set that I bought. I'm really excited about these because I wanted wooden utensils for years and I finally got them. These are so nice. I love them. And they work really well too. So because this is a big chunky lentil soup, I'm putting a lot of olives. With measurements, I'm putting about a half a cup, probably a little bit more than half a cup. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the mushrooms in a separate pot with just a tiny bit of water at the bottom. I put about a tablespoon of water. Mushrooms in the pot. And I'm gonna put the string beans directly in the lentil soup. I'm using 2 cups of string beans. You can use more or less if you want to. So now I'm gonna add seasonings to both of them. So for the mushrooms, I'm really just gonna add salt. That's all. And now I'm gonna put a lid on it so it can cook evenly and quickly. It'll cook faster with the lid on it. Now we're gonna put not any more salt, but we're gonna put oregano, cilantro, and dillweed in the lentil soup. I put a tablespoon of dillweed, a teaspoon of cilantro, and a teaspoon of oregano. This is what I mean by these mushrooms cook really quickly. Hopefully you can see that. There's a whole bunch of water at the bottom, and all I did was put a tablespoon full of water. But because the mushrooms create more water when they cook, so that's what I'm gonna do right now, pour it off into the sink, and then I'm gonna put these mushrooms into the lentil soup. Okay, so in they go. So now I'm gonna give this a little taste so I can see if I want to put any more salt in them. Let's have a little bit of lentils on this spoon. The flavor is really good, but I'm gonna put a little bit more salt. Right, the pink Himalayan salt, just a little bit more because it did take on some of the salt flavor from the olives, so just a little bit more of this salt. So I'm gonna put the lid back on, and I'm going to let it simmer just for about 3 to 5 minutes. That's it, just simmer. Got my bowl. Got my avocado. Let's slice this up. Perfect. But what I usually do with my avocado is I just slice it like this, like almost like creating cubes with it. Let's see if y'all can see that. So slice it. Use a ladle, because the ladle is easiest to use with soup. And put it in the bowl, as much as you want. That tastes really good. I'm gonna show you what I like to do with the avocado and cayenne pepper. First, we're gonna sprinkle some cayenne in there. And then I'm just gonna take my avocado, scoop it out, and put it right in there. Of course, the avocado is optional. If you don't like avocado, don't put it with your soup. The soup is already delicious without avocado. And if you do not like cayenne pepper, you also don't have to add that. This is what it's looking like. And now, I just mix it all in. That's how I like it. Mix it around. And happily feast. The carrots are so perfect. I like my carrots soft. So they're not like real soft and mushy, but they're like perfectly soft, like melt in your mouth soft. The olives have such a strong flavor that pairs so well with the soup, which is why I didn't want to put too much salt in the pot, because you really get that potent flavor of the olive and the mushrooms. So good. And like I said, for the string beans, for me, I like them crunchy, so they still have a good crunch to them. But if you want to make your string beans a little softer, then all you have to do is put them in the soup before it's done. So before you're ready to put in the final ingredients like the mushrooms and the olives, put the string beans in then for about 5 minutes, and then put in your other ingredients. Let it simmer for about 3 minutes and eat up. This was really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you give this a try because it's really good. I think you will love it. Let us know in the comments how you feel about it. And we're always happy to hear from you all. Thank you for the love and support that you have been given to this channel. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. You are greatly appreciated, and enjoy your meals. Finish that. Now I'm gonna show you guys how I package and store away my lentils. I just take Tupperware containers and scoop it in. I get the juice and all in a Tupperware container. But I don't put it to the top. Do the same thing to the other container. Put a lid on it. And then I put it right in the freezer. I might put about 2 in the freezer, 2 or 3 in the freezer, depending on how much I have in the pot, and 1 in the refrigerator so I can have that the next day. Then as each day goes on, I just take 1 out of the freezer, or 2, however much I want to eat that day, And then I just have a meal for a few days without letting it sit in the refrigerator for too many days at a time. So that's what I'm gonna do with these. I'm gonna put these 2 in the freezer and I'm gonna put 1 in the refrigerator for tomorrow. And that's how I meal prep for the week with this lentil soup. Bye.